A drama, or a play, is a piece of writing that is presented almost exclusively through dialogue. Like a short story or novel, it has a setting, characters, plot, and even symbolism. However, the way in which they are presented to the audience is different, because unlike a short story or novel, the play is meant to be performed in front of an audience, not read. Plays are not written in paragraphs like a novel or short story. Instead, they are written as lines of dialogue in the form of a script. You can see in this example from August Wilson's Fences that the characters are told exactly what to say for the dialogue. Typically, these scripts are broken down into one or more acts, or major divisions of the play. And each act is then subdivided into a scene, or smaller divisions within the act. Usually, a change in setting means there will be a change in either the act or the scene. In this case, this is Act 1, Scene 2, and the scene has shifted onto Rose. In addition to the dialogue, a script will also include stage directions. These notes, which are often in italics or parentheses, help the actors interpret the scene for the audience. In this example, when Rose transitions from singing to speaking directly to Troy, the stage directions tell her to whom she is talking. The audience will only see her turn and direct her comment to Troy. Unlike a novel, which may devote several paragraphs to describing the setting, the play is limited to what the audience can see on stage. It is important that the playwright give some indication to setting, especially if the actors will use the items on stage. In some cases, the stage directions provide information on what the stage should look like. Other times, they tell the actors where or how to move, or what facial expressions or tone of voice is appropriate when speaking a line. In this excerpt from Fences, the director and actors can visualize how the stage should appear to the audience. And while they will not have an actual house on a stage, they will have the window and entrances in corresponding places so that the audience can visualize the scene as well. Before the dialogue in a script, the playwright will often include a cast of characters. Typically, each character, both major and minor, is listed alongside a brief description of the character's role in the story. In this example, you can see that Troy is the main character, and each character is described in relation to him. This list is usually given to audience members on a printed playbill or program as they enter the theater so that they may identify the major characters and the actors who will play them. Of course, the biggest difference between characters in prose and characters in drama is that live people or actors are representing the characters in the drama. The actors are chosen based on both their physical and verbal ability to interpret the character. Sometimes it's important that an actor have certain physical characteristics, such as red hair or stocky nature, because it is an important aspect of the play. The plot structure of the play doesn't really differ from that in prose. There is an exposition, a rising action, a climax, falling action, and a resolution. In the play Fences, the exposition explains that Troy Maxon is a garbage man who loves his family in spite of the fact he is cheating on his wife Rose. The main conflict comes when Troy's son Corey wants to go to college on a football scholarship, but Troy doesn't want him to go because he's afraid he'll be discriminated against like he had been when he played baseball. In the rising action, Troy goes to Corey's coach and tells him that Corey can't play football anymore. Corey accuses Troy of being jealous. Troy's affair with Alberta comes out when she becomes pregnant. Alberta dies during childbirth, and Rose agrees to raise the child but is no longer attached to Troy. The climax is when Troy and Corey fight. Troy kicks Corey out of the house. During the falling action, several years later, Troy is dead and Corey doesn't want to go to his funeral, a decision his mother does not agree with. But the resolution comes when Corey and Raynell sing a song together, one that Troy used to sing. As they sing in honor of Troy, the audience knows that Corey can forgive his father. The conflict occurs before the rising action begins, and the conflict is the problem that must be solved. Sometimes the conflict is between two characters, like Troy and Corey, and plays out on stage with dialogue and actions. Other times, it's an internal conflict between the character and his or her own thoughts or actions. With drama, the actors use the stage directions and the dialogue to move the plot of the play to illustrate the conflict between characters. This becomes more complicated, however, when a character is having an internal conflict. To share the character's thoughts, the playwright might use one of several dramatic devices. The soliloquy is spoken by the actor when he or she is alone on stage. In the play, Troy reveals his thoughts as he goes to meet his mistress. The soliloquy shows Troy's internal conflicts and lets the audience know that he is having an affair. Another way for the playwright to provide the character's thoughts is through an aside. In this case, there are many actors on stage, but one actor will turn and speak directly to the audience. Here, the audience must understand that we are hearing the character's thoughts, but the other characters do not. The very nature of drama, to imitate reality, would not initially seem to lend itself to the use of symbolism. As actors are acting events on stage, it would seem strange that they would represent more than the character alone. However, in some ways, the audience's imagination creates its own reality with the symbolic characters on the stage. Pretending the man is a beast, the boy is a woman, the stage is an exotic locale. Beyond the simplest forms, many playwrights have used not just their characters, but their settings and props to work as symbols to reinforce the plot and the theme. And these symbols serve as an important role because the audience does not have the benefit of a narrator or the luxury of hearing many of the characters' thoughts. In the stage directions in the opening of the play Fences, there is a baseball bat leaning against a tree in the yard. Troy and Corey use the bat to practice, but they also use it against each other in their climactic fight. The bat is a symbol for what brings Troy and Corey together and what tears them apart. The prop also symbolizes Troy's bitterness about not being able to play professional baseball because of the color of his skin. In summary, a drama has many of the same elements as prose and novels. Unlike the stories that are meant to be read, drama is meant to be performed in front of an audience. This means that a script with stage directions and dialogue instructs the actors on how to best deliver the playwright's message. Sometimes the plot is very easily acted out on stage through dialogue and interaction with characters. Other time, a character is struggling with internal conflicts and uses soliloquies or asides to communicate with the audience directly. Even the setting, props, and minor characters can be used as symbols to help the audience further understand the character's thoughts and actions.